Seven Eagle Group is an Amherst-based firm with national reach that's working to help military veterans find top jobs after their service. Seven Eagle founder Jordy Kern and talent acquisition manager Susie McCrae came in to tell us more about what they're doing and why.
I learned over the years I had a really, good talent for knowing what a business owner values in a new employee, what skills they look for, what traits, and decided I wanted to combine that knowledge with a love of helping our military, our brave servicemen and women who have done so much, I feel, for me and my family to keep us safe and protect our freedom. And I never served. My dad served in World War II. And this was sort of an idea I had just to give back, to help people, but not to be a charity. I didn't want companies to feel like they have to hire these people. It's their responsibility. That's not the case. Veterans are some of just the best workers that any business owner could want to have on his or her team. And so we're really helping. We're helping companies get great employees. We're helping veterans get great careers, and we get to do this for a living.
And that's some points there, particularly about veterans and what great workers are. I want to return to in a minute, but Susie McCrae, again, I love that title, talent acquisition manager. That's kind of the cool part. You're looking at the talent that's out there, the folks that are available, the jobs that are available, trying to make that match. And it must be really fascinating when you deal with vets, because the experience they have, the things they've had to do. I mean, you often find very young people who have had life and death responsibility.
Absolutely. And I think the great thing that we do, and talent acquisition manager is the new word for recruiter. And that's the part I enjoy the most, is putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And especially with military veterans who have had these experiences in the military that are transferable to an organization. And we have a really unique way of doing this for our veterans so that we can work with the hiring managers at these companies to kind of translate what they've done in the service and how that may be transferable to the civilian workplace. And I absolutely love it. And like Jordy, my dad is still with us, World War II veteran. And I love the work that I do. It's so meaningful. And I always refer back to Ronald Reagan, who said, you know, people question every day if they've made a difference in their life, and a veteran never has to ask that question. And I feel like working with them and helping them has helped me make a difference, too, in my life.
We were privileged here a year or so ago to be part of a national grant program, Veterans Coming Home. And one of the things we focused on was employment and some of the difficulties veterans face. And we talked to one veteran and a counselor, and I remember both of them saying to us, you know, so often now, the stories that are out in the news, when they hear about veterans, they hear about trouble. They've had some kind of a violent encounter. They've got an addiction problem. They've got post-traumatic stress disorder after half a dozen or more deployments over a few years. And they said, when we walk in the door, we got to fight every stereotype a lot of times before we even get down to the normal job interview. Is that a problem, and how do you deal with that?
I think it's definitely a problem for that veteran coming home to that environment, and it's so unfair because these men and women have, I feel, just been trained by the best leaders in the country. When you're trained by the military and you develop those skills that teach you, how to never give up, how to be loyal, how to work hard, how to have this attitude of that. I feel every employer could benefit somebody like that. And they're really given a bad shake in that regard. And we present them in their best light. We try to break down those stereotypes or those hurdles for an employer to look beyond that and say, listen, this is a guy who's going to help your company grow, and you really should take a look at him or her.
Let's talk a little bit about the logistics, the nitty-gritty. You folks are home-based in Amherst, but you have a couple of folks, small staff, total staff of 7, yep. 5 locally, right? Yep. 2 remotely. Well, let's talk about how it works. A veteran or a veteran's family, somebody knows a vet looking for a job or maybe could advance, is watching.
Absolutely, yeah.
What happens when they get in touch with you folks?
We, well, like you said, we have a team of about 7 people right now. Half of us are civilians and half of us are military veterans. We have everyone from a Marine captain who lives here locally to a 26-year retired Navy SEAL working on our team, and we really like that dynamic of having, you know, like people like Susie and I have the civilian perspective, and they have the military perspective. So it's a nice match, I feel. And yeah, we reach out to companies nationwide, encourage them to hire veterans for all the reasons Susie mentioned. You know, and as you know, hiring is probably the #1 stress a business owner or hiring manager has, getting a good team around you of good employees. And we tell them that we have a solution for them. We're going to help them and do all this prep work, all this evaluation and checking references and validating work histories and really getting to identify who is a perfect match for that job opening. So the companies contract with us. We then look into our network and do a lot of prep work and a lot of phone calls. We do video interviews with our candidates, and we present them when we feel we have a good alignment there.
Jody Kern, Susie McCray, 7 Eagle Group. Thanks so much for what you're doing for our great veterans. Thanks for coming in and spending some time with us and telling us the story.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jim. This was great.